Well, hello, everybody. I'm sitting here today with a member of Kent Covenant Church, Wally Clausen. I've known Wally for at least 7 years, since he and his wife, Carlin, began attending Kent Covenant Church. First, I want to say to you, Wally, congratulations on publishing this book.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's called The Last Words of Christ, and then A Call to Understanding. It's a significant book, and I was really blessed in reading it. So the first question I'd like to ask you is, after a long career in public education, what inspired you to write this theological book?
Well, there's a danger of being in a life group.
Okay.
Because I was in a life group, and at the end of that life group, we'd been talking about the crucifixion, and the last words were naturally a part of that. And I began to look strongly at those words, and that led to some discoveries and led to beginning to write.
That's great. We always love to hear stories about things that come out of life groups because we believe our life groups are such a vital part of our church.
I think life groups are just so important.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
So you have a unique perspective on the last words of Christ. Mm-hmm. How did you arrive at your conclusions?
It really started with when I was looking at his words. I was trying to determine the chronological or sequential order of them. And in doing that, I ran across in Mark's gospel, the statement about darkness falling on the land. And because I'm a visual learner, when I read that statement, I could understand there was a graphic image in it. In other words, there was an image of light and an image of darkness. And noon was the dividing point. And that image, I think in the Bible, images are so important for interpretation.
Yeah.
So as I looked at that image, I could begin to see how his words would frame out, some in the morning and some in the afternoon.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that you focus a lot on that.
Yes.
And you develop those themes very well, I might add.
Thank you.
So what are your hopes for this book, and particularly, how might it be used in churches?
Well, in a church like Kent Covenant, Pastor Keith, or more broadly, any church, the book is written to be thought-provoking. So the book is not really written for an individual just to read it by themselves. Well, they can do that. There's some things in there that would cause people to think. And I believe as an educator, we learn best when we learn in groups. And so I think this book would be ideal for churches to use as a read and talk about book. When you get to the end of the book, there's a reference to a website where for group studies, there's a free downloadable guide for study.
Great.
Yeah.
And I know that you see a connection between your book and the Immerse Bible study series that we've been using.
Yeah. The Bible is literature. And for some reason, for a long time, I think Christians have not grasped the importance of the Bible's literature. And Immerse is coming out and so clearly showing that. And they do it by more than just stripping away the chapters and the verse and the captions. What they are doing is they're exposing the literary aspect, nature of the Bible. And my book is in that way very similar to Immerse. I look very strongly at the literary devices. I think as lay people, we're always looking to make interpretations. Unfortunately, for many lay people, the way they make interpretations, they look at the footnotes and the annotations in the Bible, or they go online and read.
Right.
And I think my great discovery is through literary devices in the Bible, those are interpretive keys. Yes. And if you learn to read those keys, it opens up in an amazing, amazing way.
Yes, I believe those keys are often overlooked in the way that we study the Bible. And the Immerse series does a great job of highlighting the nature of the literature itself.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, that the Immerse really makes that known, but it doesn't then necessarily make that next leap as to then how do we use those.
Yes.
So in my book, I'm constantly demonstrating the literary devices and how those devices become interpretive tools. And I use that phrase, an interpretive tool, frequently in my book.
Great.
Or keys that way.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Should we expect any future books from you?
I probably need to ask my wife.
Okay. You're not sure.
I have some thoughts.
You have some thoughts, some ideas.
We'll see.
That you might pursue.
Yeah.
Great. Well, since we're talking so much about the book, how can people get a copy?
Well, there's probably two ways. You can go online, and Amazon's and the Barnes and Nobles, they have it. I have copies as well. And depending on whatever the prices are, sometimes my price is better than theirs and sometimes not.
Okay.
That's it, though.
Okay,
Yeah.
Great. Well, congratulations again
Thank you,
on
Pastor
writing
Keith.
the book and having
Appreciate
it
that.
published.
Yeah.
It's an excellent book, and it deserves to be widely read
Thank you.
by Christians and in the church.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you much.